series. Monday was not fun, right? This time Tuesday, I'm sorry. We were a little panicky coming off of a series loss over the weekend and going into this one. Baltimore, we know it can be a series win for sure, but we know it is never easy. And this one was definitely not easy. I really feel like this series, we learned a lot about the Phils. And more importantly, the Phils fought for the series win. This did not come easy. This is an Orioles team that is 62-40 and number one in the AL East. I think in the AL, it's double check still for a reason. And last night was another big win, a 6-4 victory, a comeback victory. And of course, I want to pick this up here in the bottom of the third because this is where things really did start. Because top of the third, Baltimore goes up early 3-0, right? And then thanks to Jay Cave and also thanks to Nicky Castellanos, they were able to bring the game to one run. RBI singles by both those players. It's a 3-2 game. In the following inning, the Phillies put up two more runs thanks to JT Real Muto and Edmundo Sosa. Edmundo Sosa did step up yesterday as well and got the lead, right? You got the lead there, but it's Baltimore. You never, ever, ever rely on a lead going up against Baltimore. Baltimore ties it up in the seventh inning. And then in the bottom seventh, the Phillies respond yet again, ladies and gentlemen. With two outs, Edmundo Sosa hits a solo shot home run to make it a one-run lead. And then after Kyle Schwarber walked and Nick Castellanos got hit by a pitch, Bryce Harper then hit a ball all the way to center field that would bring in Kyle Schwarber, and that would add that extra run. 6-4 game. Phillies need to close this out. We'll talk about the bullpen because I think, Jason, shouts to Jason, who brought up the topic last night during the live stream last night through the live watch along. But what Topper did was actually pretty brilliant after looking at it after the live stream. But in the bottom, in the top of the ninth inning, with Greg Soto in there, wouldn't take too many pitches. But after what was, I just had it here. What was 9 pitches, just that, single digits, Soto was able to get out with a 1-2-3 inning, and the Philadelphia Phillies, a hard-fought victory, well-deserved, got the win, and move on to 55 wins on the season. That was a big, big, big W. For them to respond in the bottom of the third and then respond again in the bottom of the seventh, great base running, getting those extra bases, just getting hits, not always swinging for the – who swung for the fences tonight or last night? Edmundo Sosa. That was it. That's the type of stuff that you want to see from this baseball team. Finding ways to win in any way possible. And we talked about it yesterday. This series was going to be very, very, very telling of the Phils and what they were going to do. Because this is not going to be a series where you're going to walk through and you're going to run all over the Baltimore Orioles. No, that wasn't going to happen, and that didn't happen at all. And they fought hard and they got the job done. Ranger Suarez, it's been shaky couple starts, but he looked solid last night. 6 innings pitched, 7 hits, 4 earned. Did walk 1, 6 Ks. He did throw about, where are we at? He did throw 90 pitches last night as well. But the way Topper kind of handled the inning, I thought it was really, really smart. So you look at the 8th inning. So Topper has a decision to make here. Do you roll with do you roll with 2 innings of Craig Kimbrell, or do you give Craig Kimbrell the bulk of the lineup here, which was at that time Santander, Mountcastle, and Westbrook, or do you just allow what he did? Craig Kimbrell comes out in the 8th inning. He takes care of business with Santander, Mountcastle, and Westbrook. And then in the 9th inning, you get Gregory Soto, and Jason comes into live stream. I'm wondering, why is he coming out? I know you just had back-to-back righties, but that's not a situation you really want to see Greg Soto, considering what the season he's had. It's been a little bit inconsistent, but he goes 1-2-3 as well, 9 pitches. That's like one of those moments again, and this is what we always talk about, when Topper makes a decision, his decisions have been hit or miss thus far this year. Not like last year where it felt like every decision was going in his way. That was a risky decision, and it paid off. And that's really what you want to see. This bullpen has been spectacular as of late, getting the job done. And obviously, they've been missing pieces. Was it the Philly Inquirer put out, or MLB.com put out, Scott Lauber put out an article today, and Phillies could be looking at another bullpen piece. Um, it's interesting. Like anyone is like, and has anyone wondered, like, what is Dylan Covey doing here? Like he's supposed to remain with the Phils. He really hasn't gotten much time out there from the bullpen, and yet he's still on this team. And so it's like questions like that in which I have. But I definitely think like an extra bullpen piece could help. Obviously we're asking the question, what do we do with the bullpen, or what do we do at the deadline time? I personally still believe that an outfielder has been what we've needed every week. It just feels like something happens. That's why baseball's so hard to predict. Something happens and you just kind of change your mind. This week Jay Cave steps the fuck up. He gets called up. You got fans wondering why he's getting put in the lineup. Well, last night, dude, number one, that out in the 6th inning was humongous, right? And he went 2 for 4 yesterday with an RBI. He's really made a case for himself. And when you talk about needing that outfield depth, well, he kind of does bring that to the table here. It's going to come down to the wire to see what exactly Dombrowski will do at the deadline time. Will it be a bullpen piece? Will it be another outfield depth piece? Obviously, this team is good, and this team is deep. The batting lineup, yes, it has stayed the same. Trey Turner did sit out, as we talked about yesterday. Nick Castellanos did get put in there in the second slot. So we'll see. Tomorrow, tonight the Phillies are off. Tomorrow they're back. They start a 3-game set against Pittsburgh. We'll see what Trey Turner does. Trey Turner got sat out yesterday, so hopefully that does help. And I do think that you still are going to see Kyle Schwarber. I think it is what it is at this point. This is Topper's guy, and obviously, unless he's hitting home runs, it's not really helping us, right? Because he's not getting on base per se. But we'll have to wait to see. But he did change the lineup a little bit. But Schwarber is still in that lineup. I'm in agreement with most of the fan base. Like, I just don't see the downfall of just trying something different for one game. I don't see how that can hurt your team. But what do I know, right? So we're gonna remain to see this lineup as it has been. Let me see here. What's up, Union Dupe? What's happening, brother? How you feeling, man? Why would you bring in Craig in the 8th, though? I thought he was the closer. The matchup. So again, in that 8th inning, the bulk of the lineup was there. So you had Santander, Mountcastle, and Westberg, all righties, of course, as well. Now I know Urias, McCann, and Mateo are righties as well. But when you consider the strength of the lineup in that 8th inning, and that made more sense. And it worked out perfectly. It worked out perfectly because you had back-to-back 1, 2, 3 innings. Kimbrel was able to take care of Santander, Mountcastle, Westberg, and Soto was able to take care of Urias, McCann, and Mateo. So it worked out well in the end, man. We talked about that yesterday, Jason. It was necessary. I thought it should have happened Tuesday, to be honest with you, but it didn't. And so he got benched yesterday. And we'll see. We'll see how that worked tomorrow. But sometimes you just need to sit back and watch the game from a different angle. And he looked a little bit more relaxed in the dugout. So hopefully that does help. But he's a good player. I'm fully confident he will figure it out. Obviously, Bryson Stott has been hitting very well, and so has Alec Bohm. Kyle Schwarber and Trey Turner have not been hitting so well as you would like, for sure here, man. Maybe that lights a fire. Maybe. I don't even think it's that. I think it's just him doing too much. I think he needs to just relax. Go up to the plate, do what you do. You know what you need to do. He's just overthinking things. Same thing that happened with Castellanos. Same thing that always happens with Kyle Schwarber. When these guys are just thinking way too much at the plate and thinking they need to hit a home run, It doesn't work. That shit does not work. It just hurts. It just hurts you at the end. I think that's what's happening. Just a lot of overthinking. This team's good, and at the end of the day, come playoff time, I don't care how this team is lined up. I don't care what the order is. They should be able to hit and rake. Pitching's more my concern in the playoffs because we saw what happened. Dude, you look at what happened last year. Well, first off, the bullpen took on another life last year. They balled out on a different level, and then the hits were just coming. Just like we talked about before the season, exactly happened in the playoffs, and that's why we made the World Series. I think it's going to happen again here this year as well. It's a lot of fun. Aiden Miller today in his first professional game down in Clearwater, the Clearwater League or the Florida Leagues. Aiden Miller went 3 for 4. The first round draft pick this year went 3 for 4. His first hit was a double. So keep smiling, Phillies fans. Carl Crawford looks good as well. Aiden Miller looks good. Your last 2 first round draft picks. So the farm system looks really good here for the Phillies as Aiden Miller dazzles in his first game here with the Clearwater team.